And for the last few years, we've been running this Skills for Jobs initiative, and we work together with the Kajani Ammattikorkeakoulu, so that we make learning accessible to everybody. And when you use those courses, you can also earn ECTS points if that's something that you would like to do. And within the Skills for Jobs program, we have many different paths. So what we've been doing over the last couple of years is to organize learning circles. So we did a learning circle on kind of foundational AI. We did a learning circle on cybersecurity. And in the beginning of this year, we launched two distinct paths within our Skills for Jobs program. So we started a data path, and then we started an AI path. And then my question to Emilia was that which one should we prioritize for you? And then she said, well, why don't you just ask? And this is what we are going to do today. So we will produce, or we have two pitchers, Anna and Yoni. They're going to pitch their paths to you and then ask you what you think is the best. So that's basically what we're going to do. You'll get to learn about the two paths. And then this is also learning for us based on what we hear from you. Then we continue learning. So this is not like a one-off thing. This is something that we do month to month. Once we learn from this session, then we organize with our Skills for Jobs partners these continuous sessions. But before we get to the paths, we have a very special speaker today, Karoliina Partanen. She's the director of AI Finland. And I asked her to come here because I think one of the things that is quite important is to understand what is the state of the Finnish market right now, and how does choosing either of the two paths affect how you land, because of course that's one of the things that is always top of mind for a lot of us. So how do you see the market right now? So we'll hear from Karoliina first, then we'll hear from Anna, and then from Yoni, and then we also have some time for Q&A in the end. So I'm not going to come in between to do anything else. I think I want to let the flow continue. So let's please hand over to each other, and let's have fun.
Karoliina, thank you. The stage is yours. Thank you so much. Lovely to be here. Before jumping to my actual topic, I have a few questions to you. So first, please raise your hand if you're still a student. You haven't graduated yet. Great. And then raise your hand if you are already graduated and you are in a work life. Great. Then raise your hand if you are already a professional programmer. And raise your hand if you are about to learn. Great. And raise your hand if you are something else. Okay, who are you guys? Okay, interesting. So thank you. This gave me some context. So first, I am going to say a few words about AI Finland to give some context. And then I will provide 3 different perspectives on this topic, that is AI skill market. But I can say that I have like endless amount of different perspectives on this topic. So we could maybe have another session in a panel format and discuss also some other interesting angles, especially given this new vibe coding paradigm change. But to say some words about these 3 perspectives I'm going to discuss today. First of all, I am going to refer to my favorite study on the current state of AI market globally. Then I will say a few words about the future state of the AI skill market in Finland particular, and I have bad news in there, and that gives me the 3rd topic, that is how to fix the future state of AI skill market. And then I have a bonus point, but I am not going to reveal that yet. So first, a couple of slides about AI Finland. So we are a business network, and our goal is to accelerate the AI innovation and adoption in Finnish companies, and especially increase the international visibility in Finnish AI ecosystem globally to attract new talent and investments. And this is where we are at today. We have already 420 companies in our network, and they represent over 20 industries in 61 municipalities. So we are truly a national network, not just here in Helsinki. And we have over 10,000 LinkedIn followers beyond our actual member network, and thousands of newsletter subscribers. So we are already pretty visible players in the Finnish ecosystem. And we have also launched New Nordics AI, Nordic Baltic Center related to AI, to give us some international visibility and influence. And we are also the ecosystem partner of Lumi AI Factory. Our focus areas are, as said, we want to range the competence level in Finnish society overall in terms of AI, and we want to provide tools to accelerate AI transformation within companies, and we of course want to connect the entire ecosystem together and support growth and internationalization within companies. And these are some names of the member companies. So we are quite proud to represent such a large variety of many types of companies. We have huge international enterprises. We have public sector and educational institutions, academia. We have SMEs. We have growth companies, startups, and also consultants and service providers. And this is our kind of vision. That is the same one that I mentioned right in the beginning. We really want to help companies grow by means of AI, and we really want to attract new experts and investments in the field of AI. And we believe that these 5 teams are the enablers for that to happen. So we really need to have the companies transform instead of just increasing a little bit of productivity, and instead of upskilling individuals, we really need to have smarter teams that will kind of replan their entire operational model, and companies need to invest way more. And we also need to have like these deep tech companies. Not every company can be deep tech, but we need to have a certain number of ice and similar deep tech companies to really have us, to have that deep tech knowledge as well. And we need the global best infrastructure in every possible circumstances, no matter what Trump is doing in the US. Okay, but then about the current state of AI skill market. And as we all understand, AI skill market or AI skill is not just one skill, but it's actually quite a huge variety of many kinds of skills. And one way of putting this is this one from Interface Companies study. Has somebody seen this before? Does this look familiar? Okay, good. I was hoping, or I was afraid that everybody already have seen this and knows everything, but luckily no. Yes, so this particular study actually divides AI talent into 3 tier classification. On the top, we have the most technical talent, including AI researchers and engineers who do like machine learning, deep learning. Then we have the tier 2 of software and data professionals. And then we have the tier 0, which includes AI curious and AI literature. So basically these everyday skills in every job. And here it gets more interesting. And don't worry, I'm pretty sure you cannot see all this small text in here, but I highlight you the most interesting part. If we look at the countries according to the amount of this most technical talent, South Korea, Israel, and Japan are leading. So they have the biggest portion of very technical AI talent, whereas Finland is somewhere in the middle over here. But what is really interesting in this study is that Finland is actually leading in 2 other categories, which is the proportion of males and females in this most technical category. So to put that other way is that in Finland, we have most females in this most technical AI category, which is pretty cool, right? Yeah. And also, if we look at the number of female proportions of senior executive AI talent, again, Finland is leading the most. So practically 41% of our all AI leaders are females. That's super cool. Yeah. So that was all the good news that I had. Because then we will go and see what the future state of AI skill market in Finland will look like. And we made a competence study or survey together with head AI and technology industries of Finland. And we basically studied thousands and thousands of job advertisements. And we compared 2 data sets, the job or open positions of the leading global players, you might know Tesla and Google and Microsoft, that sort of players, and the job advertisements of Finnish companies. So basically all Finnish companies. And we wanted to compare what are the differences. And as you can imagine, there was some differences. And our main finding was that we have 2 industries that are doing well. They are game industry and software development industry, where these job openings were similar to the global leaders. But in general, our findings was that in global leaders, they are looking for AI talent in all positions. Whereas in Finland, we're only looking for AI talent in IT. IT, not business, not marketing, not sales, not business, but only in this support function of IT. And if we go deeper into these findings, we basically have 3 categories. So these international growth companies are using AI in every level of their business. So they are hiring AI talent in understanding the customer journey, in brand building, and in sales personalization. They are looking for AI talent in every business leadership role and basically everywhere. When in Finland, we are only looking for AI talent in IT roles. Good news is that very recently, like last week, I saw the study that the number of these roles is finally increasing, but still, they are AI architects that we are looking for, not like business savvy AI roles. Yeah, but we no worries. Yeah, that's the future part.
AI, what are you really referring to? Are you referring to machine learning, especially somebody who's developing new languages or basic things, or just somebody using the tools for, let's say, making an agent and we can start?
Great question. We actually have a slide about that. There is kind of a sentimental map. Is that the correct word? Well, I'll show you what I mean in a second. Yes. So then 2 more findings. So first of all, or the second finding is that in these global roles, these job advertisements are also referring to research and innovation partnerships that are meant for a long term. When in Finland, we also collaborate with research institutes and innovation project, but they are only project types, so very temporary.
They cannot hear the audience online.
So I should repeat the question. Okay, thanks. Good point. Yes, so this is what I wanted to show as a reply to your question about what kind of AI talent we are referring to. So basically, in these global pioneering companies, AI refer to machine learning, generative AI, cloud services, information security, web technology, software development, and many, many other roles. So yeah, basically we had this very, very wide like many skills. When in Finnish companies we only had a smaller variety there, and also Finnish companies are not by heart AI companies. So we have Wärtsilä, we have Vaisala, who are technical companies, but not by heart AI companies. When these global leaders, they are actually taking AI in the core of their product development and their strategy. But also the definition for AI was much narrower. So how to fix this situation? So in AI Finland, together with AMD Silo AI, we made another study last spring, and we interviewed, or we made a survey for 200 companies who are already front runners, and we asked how they are getting a competitive advantage from AI, because these companies already are, but that's not the case for most companies. And our basic like the situation for this survey was that only 60% of companies who are these front runners are satisfied with their AI results, and the rest of them are not. They are unhappy. Yes.
How do you define what is successful?
I don't remember the exact phrasing, but we basically asked, are you, there it is. How satisfied are you with the results you get from the AI? And then we asked if you are very disappointed, somewhat disappointed, neutral, satisfied, very satisfied, or not sure.
I mean, how did you end up including, what kind of companies you included?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's another question. So basically, this survey was sent to I don't know, thousands of companies, but only those ones who are very advanced were able to answer, because the questions were so complex. Yeah, and I only show you very small portion of them, but if you want to go and check it out, it's on our website, and it's very interesting. There will be lots of interesting stuff to learn from. But this was the starting point, and then we basically compared the satisfied companies to not satisfied companies, and wanted to understand what they are doing differently. And one of our learnings was that the biggest obstacle at the moment is insufficient investments, whereas lack of competence has been the biggest obstacle so far, or this far. And this is quite interesting, but not as interesting as the next slide, which will explain this. Because at the moment, the leading companies are using AI to improve the existing products or generate new revenue streams. Entirely new revenue streams, entirely new business areas. And yep.
What I was curious to know from your presentation is also that in your presentation, at least the survey, I don't know which kind of companies that you asked, including AI is an 8. But what I was also interested to know is that what about groundbreaking developments in the AI models itself? What are the chances of the next cloud coming from Finland?
Lovely question. It has nothing to do with this, but I also have answered to this one. So I think the chances are 0, and that's because
Like, just not give us the products. All these will be affected.
Hear you. Yeah. So basically, our strategy, that is not basically general knowledge, but what I have heard is that basically now we are still using the old-fashioned LLMs, and now the hyperscalers and similar are producing the next generation LLMs that can be trained with way less data and energy, and they will be way more precise and also smart. And maybe you also read, yes?
What about safety? Can you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So the question was about if we are going to produce the competitive LLMs in Finland as well. So I was going to answer or start my answer from a bit further away. And the point is that now the hyperscalers are generating these new generation LLMs that can be trained with less data and less energy, and basically they will become commodity. And there will be universities in Europe that will kind of steal that property and train our own models for free and to act as an or on an open source basis. So that will be taken care of in a few years' time. Of course, we will have a risk until that happens, but practically, given this current situation, we have no money or no technology do that on our own in Finland right now, and it doesn't make sense.
From Habitat and others.
Yeah.
It's up for taking, and I don't know how much capital is needed to train that. I don't know, like.
Well, this was the answer given by people wiser than me, so I trust them. I don't know. I haven't asked them that question, but they simply said that these next generation models are on their way, so we better wait until they can be utilized, and then we'll just take them and train them with our own data. And also very small amount of data is enough, so we can use this Finnish data to do that.
Issue about leaking sensitive information through LLMs. Have you thought about it? How do you prevent it?
Sensitivity.
Yeah.
Well, if we have these open source models, one thing we can do is that we can, for instance, teach them values, and we can train them with our own data sets to ensure there is no bias, if that's what you mean.
So through prompting, you mean?
Sorry?
So you are saying through prompting?
No, well, it's not really prompting. What's that word that Jussi from Silo is using? It's like it's a bit like fine tuning. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay, that's entirely different. Yeah, that's true. That's different. Mm-hmm.
Competitive advantage is based on the intellectual property that you have. So you have to be very careful in using this generic.
Yeah, of course. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so that's of course entirely different topic, and it has not anything to do with the language model, but that again is the application that we use, and it's the application's role to ensure that it's not using the data that we give on our prompts and our documents that we load there. So that depends on that. Okay, how much more time do I have? I think I have already spent my time, and I'm not even finished my presentation, but maybe I'll just quickly give you a couple of more points, and then I think I need to let other speakers continue. But great questions, and I think it's always good to have some conversation instead of having a huge monologue.
And we do have 15 minutes in the end.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, but let's say
questions now, but let's also use that time.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll still try to be efficient. Yeah, so I was going to go here that we should really use AI in a more large variety of business cases, which of course means that then we can utilize everyone in the job market instead of just utilizing nerds to do AI stuff, right? So I think this is the key to the fundamental change. every company should switch to this direction, utilize AI in the core of all business functions and support functions as well. And also, another learning from the study was that the companies that are using AI in the core of their strategy, they were way more satisfied with their results. So the learning basically is that you better use AI as a core of your strategy instead of just having one of the many elements in there. Okay, so the final learning or final food for thought for you is this, that you maybe know already, but basically this new vibe coding paradigm will entirely disrupt the way that companies are being built. And now this is something that I learned from Mari Luukkainen, who is an absolutely fantastic growth hacker and vibe coder, and she's like she has seen hundreds and hundreds of new startups and founder teams and their pitches. And last spring, she started seeing that there no longer are CTOs in these new startup founder teams, but there are basically this commercial founder and maybe some other founder, but no more separate technical founders. And what this means for many females is that we are now liberated from nerd guys, right? So we can now, any one of us can basically build our own product. If we get an amazing business idea or product idea, whatever is the role you are working on in the company, you can be the one who makes that happen. And I think that's a huge power these days, and especially now that not everyone has understood that. If you go and pick that superpower up, you really have superpowers. I think that was my last point. So thank you for having me. If we still have time for questions, I'm open to try to answer those. But how are we doing time-wise?
I think you're okay.
So okay, so we can still have a few questions if we have some.
Take one question.
One, yes.
Thank you so much. Actually, I didn't get what you're actually doing with these companies because I have seen my company there, but I didn't get what is exactly happening.
Oh, right,
So
great.
Repeat the question.
Yes, the question was that what is AI Finland doing with these companies who are our members? So basically, we organize events where they can exchange information and experiences in terms of AI. May I ask what company you are working for?
Yeah, Felix Solutions.
Oh, amazing. Yes, actually, Tommi Vilkamo is also in our advisory board and our future board starting in a few months' time. Yeah, so you have basically sent up to 5 people to our events who can participate in different working groups where companies work on several topics and then exchange information. So we had our latest event on Wednesday. And for instance, we had agent-related topic, government model-related topic, leadership and transformation-related topic, and we were working on several frameworks and building on them.
Yeah, but these are not public. It's just between companies and your.
Yes. Okay, I think I have now spent my time. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great vibe coding career ahead of you. Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Anna Ranta, working for Microsoft Finland. No, not Microsoft Finland, but working for Microsoft, working as a senior partner solution architect, working with data day to day, and here today to tell you a little bit about data as a skill and what kind of data paths could there be to finding superpowers. And here's very briefly, why didn't it?
It works.
Yeah, but it doesn't work here, so it didn't change the. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so very briefly about the agenda. So I want to give you a bit of my background, because my journey with data is not fully with IT, and I understood from the audience that not all of you are going to, or maybe looking after being a coders. So like giving you also like examples about how to work with data and why do we work with data. Data is everywhere. The AI is included in it. It will give us new ways of working with data, and also like new ways how to consume data. And data will be needed for decision making and business planning. This is not news, but the different ways of working, those are news. I'm going to talk about a little bit of the data processes, what there are, and how what kind of different roles are there that work with data in the market, and then in the job market, and then giving a bit of a brief to our data skilling learning path that you can find in the skills for job. Okay, about my journey with data. So I have like a 20 years plus job experience after I graduated from the University of Technology in Tampere. I have studied industrial management as my like main subject. So I did do some IT courses, but I did the minimum. I was sure that when I started my career after graduation, that I would love to work with finance. So I headed for finance, and I started my role as a production controller. But it was pretty soon that I discovered that it's not necessarily the finance and the numbers that I'm looking after. It's more of the data and how to make that data available to enable the decision making. So that's when I was working in the projects like ERP projects and doing reporting, new reporting and the data warehousing. But then I decided, okay, I'll switch to an IT career. And I started working then as a reporting manager or BI service managers, solution managers, IT architects. And now, since the last 9 years plus, I've been working for Microsoft in a technical pre-sales for data and analytics. And now, the recent years, I've been working with our partners to enable them to be successful with their journey with our technologies. So so there are different paths that take you to working with data. They are not all IT. There are like business related roles as well that but one that is typical for all of these data roles is that you better be like understand how to work with the data and why do we do different things with the data, and so that it's good use for decision making. So AI is transforming the world. This is everywhere. We see this in all the roles, and also with the data roles. AI is transforming the way how we use data. So it brings like new initiatives to the data usage, but it also gives new tooling to work with the data. So it's a bit like in the vibe coding thing that you can also do different data things with the different new ways of working. But the good point is that there are these common structures and conceptual understanding why we do things. It still remains the same. So data is the fuel that powers AI. So that's why we want to have good quality data available ready to use for business decision making, and also like predicting, also looking in the future as well. A bit about what is data. So there is like a graph-like picture of data that comes or that appears or is built in organizations. So within each business process, you get data from different systems. So you sell something, you have sales transactions. You buy something, you have purchase transactions. You put something in your warehouse, you get warehouse transactions. And all of this comes from different systems that talk to each other. These data that is coming from the system, it's often called as structured data, because the data is typically, because it's stored in the systems, it's always in the same format, so we know in advance that what is the format of the data. Then we have unstructured data. We have also like these manual processes. It's not only that we have data coming from systems or it's being built in systems, but we have also like people are sending emails, we are having phone calls, we are on video meetings, we might produce files. Some data might be found in files. We have also pictures and videos. So this can be called as unstructured data, and no matter, we might need to use that data also for decision making. So there is different type of data in the organization, and the working with data is to try to get a grip of this data and make it into meaningful for full format and to be enable meaningful business decisions. And about the data processes, a brief history of business intelligence. So it's coming now to the historical part, because I've worked so long. So I think that maybe trying to understand why we do such things with data, because the why is still valid, even if our toolings will move into the agentic world and getting help from AI. But why we do things with data. So on the left-hand side in this picture, you see OLTP systems. So this is our operational systems that run your businesses. You could have your sales systems there, customer relationships, management systems, your production systems. You get data from all of those. You could potentially create just a report on top of data, and you connect to that system and create a report. But this is not a good practice. We don't want to do that, because these systems are reserved for running the business, and they are reserved for doing the transactions and being able to do that with a good performance. So we don't want to let people who create analytics, we don't want to let them in those databases, but instead we would rather have them. We will show what's coming, because where they want to connect. But anyway, the other problem is that if you have a lot of those systems and you want to combine data coming from many systems, then you might need to consolidate and harmonize the data, so make it like better fit together to be able to provide meaningful business outcomes. So for example, the customer number, if it's different in different systems, then how will you do that on a report? How can you report what is going on in these customers? You would need to first combine and understand which customer means what in the other system. Also, like, what does sales mean in one system? It could be a different way of calculating the sales from the other system, and you want to make the data that you report or you look at, analyze, you want to make it like in the same, harmonized, so that you can better calculate those together. So what we have in the middle is the data storage layer for analytics. So we have data lakehouses, data warehouses. These are technologies that you use to get rid of those problems previously described. So once you build these data stores once, so gathering information from different systems, then your reporting and analytical users, they don't need to go to the transactional databases to get their data, because it's already available in the data warehouses, and then they can go there to fetch their data. Also, you can create the data in such a format that it's better available for analytics. So if you need to, for example, do the harmonizations or combine different customer IDs from different systems, then you can do this in the data warehouse side to make the data fully available. We call them golden data. You can think of it as golden data. So it's like good quality data for the analytical purposes. And once you do it once, then it's there, and all the business users can use it, and you can be sure that they are using the same data. So there is data engineering work that needs to be done to get the data to the data warehouses and data lakes, and that is called data preparation, or ETL, also data engineering. But this is a process of getting the data coming from various systems and make the format better available for analytics. So cleaning the data and transforming the data. And this process is usually quite time consuming, it's resource consuming. So there is a lot of work that needs to be done to make the data available in the data warehouses and data lakes. And so for the reporting in large scale, there is also another layer of analytical models on top of data warehouses or data lakes. So there is a semantical layer that is normally or often built for the analytical use cases. So you select which tables you want to use in your analytics. You give them meaningful business names. You might create hierarchies, or you might create calculations. So you can set up, like, for example, rules how to calculate that sales, or how to calculate yearly trends, or something like that. But once you do it in these analytical models, then these analytical models can serve as golden semantical models for reporting and dashboards. So then it's easy then to scale the usage. There's a self-service aspect to this. So it is possible, all of these workloads that we see, you can do it either with self-service mechanisms or processes, or you can do it with the IT-centric ways of doing. So it depends then on the, like, how you want to build your. It's about scaling, or about the balance between agility and robustness. So for some of your data in your organization, you can let business to deal with these data processes, and then business could use these self-service, low-code ways of working using visual toolings, Excel like toolings like Power BI or Fabric to do this whole process. On the other hand, if you have this golden, very central business data that all of your businesses require for their data work, then it might make sense to do it properly with IT, proper IT processes, so that you make it take care of the application lifecycle management and like the continuous management of the way that data is being handled. So there are ways that you can do with differently, but you end up in the same results. So getting this reporting out of, or the visuals or the analysis out of this model. But also, like, now with the new world of AI, the vibe coding is coming, and it's also coming into the coding of these processes actually. So it is changing the way of how data people also work with the data. Yes, and also new use cases. So it's not all about creating new reports as end results or visualizations, but the end result could be that you need to provide the data for an agent, for example, and the agent can then work, for example, between systems, autonomically go fetch the data, or then you can create like a chatbot type of user interfaces where the users can, instead of looking data from reports, they could go and ask, how is my sales, for example. Okay, then there was the other data process that was part of this data track, which is the data science process, which was in the triangle. What we saw, it was in the upper corner with the highly advanced skills that you typically need to build this process. So the data science or the machine learning problems, these are, like, when you start working on a data science process, it typically starts with you have a clearly defined business or research question. For example, that might be related to sales forecasting, or it might be related to customer churn prediction or machine failure prediction. And these business problems then will be translated into analytical or predictive tasks. And this will start with typically with data discovery and understanding the data. So you need to look at what data is available that could be potentially used to solve this business problem. So it's about assessing data availability, the data quality, and what kind of limitations might there be. And for building the initial understanding of what the data can and cannot answer. And once that initial discovery has been done, then it's time for doing the experimentation and modeling, which start with then again preparing the data. So there are some data cleaning and transformation steps that needs to be done in order to make that data fully good quality data for the machine learning experimentation. And then you will test these different analytical or machine learning approaches to that data and comparing different machine learning models using appropriate evaluation metrics, and then tracking experiments, understanding and what is working and how and why, and looking at the accuracy, interpretability, and robustness. You will then evaluate those models, and check which model works best for your data. And once you are ready with the modeling, we evaluate. You might need to iterate to work with to get the model working perfectly. So, and once you are ready with the analytical modeling, then it's about operationalizing that one. So you maybe want to put it into business processes so that you can track what and predict based on the live data that is coming in, and then maybe pull those insights and share it with visualizations, or you might put an activation flow so that you really do some actions based on the machine learning experiments or the process, the data process, when actual data is then being run through these models. Yes. So what data skills are needed? I think that we covered a lot of different, very in short time, different data processes that we see that are needed to work with the data. Some of those processes might require different skills. I think that the triangle, what we saw in the first presentation, that was quite nice. So they are not all the roles that need to work with data. Not all of them are need very deep IT technical skills. There are some, but not all of them. So, for example, in business roles, there could be data analyst, BI analyst, reporting analyst, controllers on the business side of things that will benefit of understanding data and who need to work with data in their daily work. And then on the IT side, on the other hand, you could have data engineers, analytic engineers, for example, data architects, BI developers there on the IT side. There should be data scientists also, and machine learning engineers also, some roles like that also on the IT side. But this is not like this is not the whole list, but this is just to give you an example what kind of roles there could be. There are hybrid roles that, for example, that is a mix of like a technology and business. So solution architects, analytics consultants, for example, data BI leads, technical advisors. On the vendor partner side also, we have like us who are working as a pre-sales engineers. Our sales guys are also like very deep. They have deep understanding also of the data analytical processes. Consultants, solution architects, and service managers. So different roles, with different backgrounds. And from that, let's go to the last part of this presentation, the Microsoft skills for jobs. And we have the data skills path there, which is the the path that you can do to start learning data skills, and it will give you like a quick overview and a track that will help you prepare for like a AI-driven working life. It's a micro degree. It's available online and it is open for everyone. And yeah, it's free of charge. You can do it at your own pace. You will get university ECTS credits. I think it's 12 credits. And completing any of these courses, any of the 8 courses included, then you will get a LinkedIn patch that you can put in your LinkedIn. We are partnering here with this micro degree with Elisa, Arrow, Sovelto Edu House, Cloud One, Islet, and Atea. And there are 8 courses. There's a data skills core program, how to call it, core courses. There are 4 courses, plus there are these data engineering and data analyst study paths that you can then pick one and choose. Do the first 4 courses and then pick either essentials or a data analyst track. Here is like a quick overview of what is included in the core track. So it's first about exploring Microsoft Azure, and then a bit about the artificial intelligence, including also the GenAI things. So it's like good background knowledge, both of these, to understand how and why we do things in the cloud, and then exploring data and analytics and data analytics with Power BI. This is the data and analytics part. It will give you like the overview of those data processes and the good background for that. And then there is the data engineering study path. It's more about like how to get the data and make it available for the data warehousing or data lakes. And then we have the analyst essential study path, which partly is about analytics, machine learning, so advanced analytics, and partly it can be like this, like how to do analytics with Fabric, including toolings that then can be used for example, the data engineering and building semantic models and creating visuals, and also including some machine learning for Fabric. Yeah. So wanted to just, if you are not able to pick, because now it can be difficult to pick should I pick data engineering or data analyst? This was the one option that you pick the first 4 courses plus either data engineering or data analyst, and the other option was then to just skip the 4 basic courses or the core courses and discover more deeply the data engineering and data analyst. So this is the other option. So you can do both data engineering essentials and data analytics essentials, and that will give you the credit. Yeah. Then it's about start learning. You can go to the Microsoft Skills for Jobs to find out more, enroll in the study program, and then off you go. Off I go. So thanks for my part. I'm giving the...
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jori. I work for Microsoft Finland. And actually been working here for like 3 months. So I just joined Microsoft from a consultancy company called Zura, if you ever heard about it. And I do vibe coding. I do a lot of vibe coding. Well, I don't say it as vibe coding. It's more like spec-driven development. So this actual whole application is vibe coded, where I show my, because I don't like PowerPoint. I don't like it. But yeah, when people hear word AI, it's usually they think something complicated. It's models, deep math, and really specific technical knowledge. It's not. AI is a really large concept. So AI today is for more making everyday work better. It's not we design models everyone or do deep math. It's not something like that. We do workflows, a lot of workflows. That's most of it.
Okay, do you mean like how somebody can make something easier and
Yes,
make
yes,
with
yes.
their
I'm gonna cover that later. Less manual effort. That's one aspect of this work. So, and it's not just data science too. AI is no longer just a technology topic. It's a way of working, in my opinion. You don't need to start with models. You start with problems, workflows, and outcomes. Most people in this industry won't build AI models, and I've done a few small, really niche models. They're no use for anyone, but to me, in some sense. But we're most likely building something that makes easier for humans to work. It's about improving the work that gets done. Okay, in AI era, value shifts away from typing code line by line to more about understanding the real problem. What matters more is what can you describe what you want? Can you explain why it matters? Can you recognize when output is good or bad? Turning intent into clear instructions. This is where many different strengths fit greatly. So, analytical thinking, creativity, or business understanding, or systems thinking. This is where it comes together. Evaluating output, quality, risk, and usefulness is one of the key aspects of our work. AI is fast producing options, but we need to validate, is the actual output useful for us or our systems? Choosing what actually makes sense. Iterating fast, draft, test, and refine. I did a demo for one customer a couple of days ago. We were in a meeting with them, so they described their problem. They get something like tens of thousands of emails per year, and they basically go through them manually. That's a lot of work to, in my opinion. Read, classify, and put it to some other email box. They should send it there. And after that, something else happens. They don't know what happens. Pretty manual work for me. So in that meeting, we kind of get the problem what they had. I just typed it in for a coding agent. And in 20, 30 minutes, we get the first iteration of the code or the application. And then we started iterating it. And at the end of the 2-hour meeting, we had a working proof of concept for them. And they were like really happy for it. That how can we make this work for us? It's just at this moment in time, we can make really fast, really working products already. But in a sense that what we are doing here is we're building applications. It's just we are using different kinds of tools with them nowadays. Carolina was speaking to, this is application level development. Someone in the crowd was asking that, okay, how do we manage that the personal identity information doesn't go to the model? We block it. We don't send it there at all. We cannot use it if something IP related information or business critical information that we cannot ever let go outside of our company, then we just don't give it to the models. No, programmatically we just don't send it there. We acknowledge what kind of data we can send to the models, and then we approve the sending. If there is personal identity information there and we cannot go send that to the model, we just don't send it to the model. It's normal application development cycle. So, as we heard something about agents, most likely all of you have heard the word, but what is an agent? In my opinion, because this is still debatable at this moment, in my opinion, agent is, in a simple way, it has a role. It drafts something. It is a manager of many agents or something like that. And it has tasks. And it has tools or access to other agents and clear boundaries. Agent is not just a chat. Well, we all use them. And most likely, most of the customers will ask, can you make me a chatbot? Because they've used to use the chatbots. They use ChatGPT. So it's a chatbot for them. But what about if we tell them that, nope, you have this process here and this phase of process, this phase of a process. People doesn't need to chat in these phases. The data flows through them, and the output comes out. There's no need for chatting with the data. You can just inject the data and flow in a workflow, and you get the output. But agents act on behalf of people. The important part is that agents amplify human work. There isn't always we can make autonomous workflows. Some people work as a public servants. There's legal obligation for them to sign out the output. So you do then want to check what's the output. So you need to have human in the loop then, obviously. But the key line is that agents do the steps. We, humans, stay responsible still. So what are the pathways and what to do? As now we know some of the works we can do with the AI apps, where can it lead? There are a few clear paths as I see in AI applications. Anna went through the data side. It overlaps a lot. Some sense it overlaps. But in application side, there are a few clear. There are a lot more, but they're not so clear. Depends on the company. AI developer, AI engineer, those are really similar. AI developer is more, you build an application which has AI powered features. It's a good starting point, and you get to know what the application development is. Engineer has more end-to-end responsibilities, and in that sense, they do need to know how to evaluate the models, deployments, and do orchestrations and that kind of stuff. The architect itself is, well, they are working on a higher level. They don't usually work with the application level itself. They design how the systems work, what is the current state, well, what kind of infrastructure we're going to need it. Do we need networks, and do we have a multiple multi-agentic systems? We can have an agentic system A and agentic system B. and their intercommunication.
You're talking about ecosystem.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And these two systems doesn't know they exist. There probably won't be even any connection between them. But then somebody decides that, hey, we need solution C that actually takes the output of both of those systems and combines them in a really different way. So how do you want to learn? Start from a workflow that's familiar for yourself. I don't like some things I need to do every day. I'm at home to my family. Me and my wife, we don't like the tedious work of deciding what to eat next week. That's awful. So agents are now deciding what we eat next week. Because, well, I can do it. And so I did. So basically what I have a database in my home which has 40 to 50 different meals. And it gives me successes about next week's meals. And nope, I don't like that Wednesday. And it switch it out to something else. And yeah, the meals are rated, so basically kids get something nice to eat soon. And it will actually make me the grocery store shopping list too. But start with something that is familiar for you. Yeah.
You need to make the food.
Well, I kind of like that. I kind of like that part. Yeah. That one I haven't figured out yet. But yeah, start something that actually matters to you, what you want to automate. Yeah, please. Oh yeah. The workflow is coded. It is just a workflow. It is quite simple workflow. 3 agents just doing one thing at a time. And what tool? GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot. I didn't write a single line of code there. So I kind of white coded it. So why to choose first something that is actually matters to you? It's easier to work when you do something that matters to you, that helps you in your personal life. You know the thing that you want to automate. If you take something from YouTube or somewhere else, it's harder to relate that problem. And you have more incentive to learn something that you can automate your own life than you learn something that somebody else did figure out. And learn just enough to move forward. You don't need to know all the details in every step of the learning path. Just go forward. You learn more when you advance in more difficult topics. You just learn more. And when in doubt, use structured learning. Anna mentioned already this. For AI applications, we have these AI literacy fundamentals, agent fundamentals course, and developer micro degree. Those are really good. I'm not going to go so deep on those because Anna was kind enough to present those.
Is there any course related to AI architect?
Not yet, not at the moment. But AI developer micro degree will give you some thinking of the system thinking. So you should probably start there. But it's mostly just normal application architecture development. So you get there.
Okay, so just if a beginner just be playing with different operating systems and computers, so then what she mentioned, that would be the first or that data skill. Or what would you recommend to take for the first course?
If you want to go with the application level, do application, then the developer micro degree is a good one.
Okay, so that's okay. Also okay to start with that.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But what about the architecture? Sorry, what was the architecture, the first course for architecture? Ecosystem thinking.
Literacy fundamentals course and agent fundamentals course there. Yeah.
the developer micro degree is a much course, and then there's another one which is the AI agents. So I think these two together could.
And you can start combining there the components of our system, and you get there for the actual architectural thinking there. I think it is there.
But we do have a separate cybersecurity fundamentals, a micro degree as a system. So it doesn't yet cover the what do you call it, the layers within AI that we talk about, like log observability, collaboration, and all of that yet. But there is a cybersecurity course. So I think once you know the three pieces, you should be able to connect the two dots, because I think that's probably where it comes to.
Yeah, it's application software application architecture is most likely just pieces and blocks. You combine them and you get a whole picture. You do.
I think the course is the one for using white code to develop your own apps and.
You don't need to use white coding. It's an optional.
So I just wanted to know which of these covers the white coding aspect.
None. No one. No, there is no white coding courses there. White coding is that when you get you go through the AI developer micro degree, so you get the basic fundamentals of application development. Then you can actually start white coding itself.
I also can agree. Like, if I think about it, the courses teach you the tool, but when you think about white coding as a concept, it's what you bring as an idea.
Yeah.
So nobody can teach us that.
I'm gonna touch on that. I'm gonna touch on that in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's you don't write the actual code itself. The agents will code. Yeah.
Anyone really any software developing or any data.
I'm gonna touch on that in a minute.
If you write code in some mobile or some cloud code, and it generates your code, and you don't know anything about the code, and you are publishing the application without checking is it even safe to the public use.
Why you publish without checking?
Exactly.
Actually, it's happening. It's happening. Many people are.
Yeah, people are already doing it.
Yeah, maybe you can find some test users if you don't want to do it yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like white coding equals to cybersecurity in my head.
Yeah, steering AI. You need to do that, because white coding, if you don't understand what you're doing, you can get a lot of trouble. But it is just asking the right questions. You can ask it, do a security review on this application. No, there is no white coding course there, but
I think that's a great feedback.
yeah, it is. And it's in a cybersecurity course has these security aspects on it. So it is a really good one to go to. You get to get grasp of how the security works in an application level. So then you just combine those knowledges and you get really good results from there. You should try that. So steering, you need to do that a lot. AI creates really idealized solutions. There's a difference when you ask an AI to do your application, it's what language it will use. I did a demo for a customer a couple of weeks ago, and as I am an application developer and my preferences are in .NET side, I asked it to do in .NET. Yeah. And I give it something like 200, 300 line specification, press enter, started looking the flow of the text, how it does it. And I see there 4 letters, CQRS. What is CQRS? If you're not a web developer, it is an acronym that you probably won't recognize. So it is a design pattern of software. And when I'm doing demo, which is running on this laptop, it is a way overkill. Way overkill. We need distributed systems that we can use that kind of stuff there. But why it did it is because in its data, or what it was taught, is that .NET actually is usually used in enterprise solutions. So it figured out, well, this must be an enterprise solution. It is the best next guess what it makes. So in that sense, it started to do a real enterprise-grade solution there. But if I would ask it to do Python, it would just do a couple of endpoints for me. That's it. It needed just a couple of endpoints. It's not that, it's always dependable on what you ask it to do. So in that sense, reality forced in simplification. This wasn't a failure of AI. No, AI did what it was told to do. It was a lesson about guidance. I didn't guide it to do simple application for demo purposes. And it assumed we are doing enterprise grade. No, really overkill. And this is the kind of things that AI engineers and developers judgment every day. We do need to ask the right questions and challenge the output of the agents. Because in the end, our job is theory and not accepting everything. We wouldn't accept everything from customers either, because something is not actually doable. But as Carolina told, GenAI agents and everything like that, if you want to automate something, I can do it much easier nowadays. And if you want to do applications, start typing. That's how you learn nowadays. But what matters is architecture. Back in 2006, I was in school. We had a great idea with my guys there. At that time, everybody was downloading movies. We didn't stream them. We over the bay with the name pirate in it. Everybody was downloading them there. We were thinking at those internet speeds, that was gruesome. So we kind of put our school server and website on where we can actually watch those movies if we didn't. So not everybody needs to download it to their own machines. Idea was good. Damn, Netflix came 2-3 years later. That was a really good idea. But what kills us, killed the idea, wrong assumptions. Yeah, that was bad. We did the math, and at that time in Finland, we were thinking like, oh my God, if we put 10,000 users and they will watch something like 720p, not even HD. Well, it is HD, yeah. HD material, whole network in Finland would crash. Why? Because we didn't understand anything about scaling different servers. We were just in one server and everything connects to that. How much compute we will need? A lot. We didn't have that kind of knowledge then. But nowadays, you can just ask from the AI, how do I make this secure? Is this secure? Do I need to scale this? How do I scale this application? Do I need to take some network things into account? You can ask it. Yeah, and today, it most likely gives you a really good answer. Architectural requirement matters. And it will guide you some sense. Sometimes it will, do you want me to do this kind of thing, And that, yeah, do it. Thank you. And it will do. So at the AI applications, the AI doesn't reward you knowing everything in advance. You don't need to. It rewards you asking good questions giving clear instructions, and noticing what works and what doesn't. And the third strengths are here to help you. But the curiosity is what matters most. Just do what you think is interesting. That's how you learn best. So that's me. I'm out of time. Thank you.
We do have 15 minutes for Q&A. I'm watching the chat, so we can raise hands here and then also ask from here.
You'll be the moderator.
I will be the moderator. And say who is it for, and or if you want to just ask.
Chair, about the learning paths, I have done some other fundamental certifications, and how is it worth my time to go to those learning paths?
The question is, the friend has done Azure Fundamental Learning Paths already? Certifications already, so is it? So is it worth going through this, the courses?
Yeah, the fundamentals is more like an Azure itself. Those are for application development. So yes, it is beneficial.
And also for the data part, I found this.
Can you come closer here so people are not online can also hear?
Also from the data part, I found this these data skills to be a bit more deeper than the fundamentals.
Could you both tell a little bit what you see the biggest risks in your fields? Like the other question already we heard about security issues and.
So the question is, what are the biggest risks in data and AI fields? Like we saw from the vibe coding example, that if you don't know how to code, you might not fully understand. So how do you put the guardrails, or what are your risks?
Who wants to start?
You can start.
Yeah. Yeah, so I try to be quick, but yeah, so it comes with the trust. So, and the trust comes with both that you need to make sure that what data you are processing and that the data that you are like preparing for analytics, that the quality is good, so that when you make informed business decisions, that you are sure that the data is correct. So basically there is the risk that you have done something, or the data is, for example, if it's not it's not processed correctly, then it could be that Joni has different numbers and I have different numbers, and we don't know whose numbers are the correct ones. So kind of those kind of risks there are, that if you provide those kind of numbers that people are not sure which to trust, then it erodes the trust to the data that you're giving, and then people think that, okay, should we or should we not use this? It simply doesn't fly like that. So you need to make sure basically that the data is correct. And then the second part is the governance. So you need to make sure that you know that what data you have there. What is the that it doesn't cover anything like GDPR, or if does, then you need to know where is it. So we have data governance, which you need to take into consideration and consider the data governance, who can see and what data, and where do we have data, and what is the profile of the data, for example. And then there is the security also, that you need to also take care of the data security.
Do you have anything to add, Joni?
Yeah, there are a lot.
If you go closer.
Yeah, there's a lot, but I'm taking this more loosely. Nobody's dying. That's good. You probably just find your name in Iltalehti. That's okay too. So experience brings you confidence. So there are risks always. Always there are risks, but you can mitigate them if you recognize what kind of applications you're doing and what is the data you're using in there. So if there is no personal information data, that the risks are really low then.
Yeah. But I have one more thing to say, that I mean, does it fundamentally change how we do application development? I mean, security review, code review, these are parts of application development anyway.
Yeah, yes.
So,
And actually, well, in a sense, AI will change how we do the whole process. It will change it, eventually, at least. But in those processes, they're gonna change, and we are gonna think differently how we build applications. But yes, always there are risks. But how to mitigate them? You own the code that the AI made and you push.
Yeah. And I also like what you said, Yoni, that maybe you start from the point of knowledge that you know something, and then you build little bit, go forward from there. So you're starting from a point that you know something, you know the business process. If you're a healthcare professional, you know that process. There's always going to be something that you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, so that will anyways be there.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. It's really nice. And my question is there any suggestion that we can use AI more like efficient, considering the environmental cost? Because I'm not very sure, maybe explain a little bit how the route is linked between AI tools and data center. And is there any possible that we choose to use less tokens to have a better result?
So the question is, how can we make AI more sustainable and more efficient and use tokens more efficiently? This is a bit tricky. But I think as an organization, you can put certain limits on how your organization uses these tokens. So I think we can put some governance there. You know, that's something that we can do. I'm not sure if I want them to, but that's a different question.
That's a hard one.
Maybe Yoni can decide to do the grocery store list on his own.
Yeah, that's one. That's one. It doesn't use that much, but yeah, that's what Carolina was talking about. Those new models that are coming.
Yeah.
So those will help in a sense that, and knowing how to prompt your agent is one thing. How to get more efficient with those prompts is one thing, and using the latest knowledge of that's one thing too.
Yeah, I also believe we'll get better at it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you look at the early computers and the hard drives, you know, I always compare it to that, you know, and from there now, how far we've come. There was a question.
Brainstorming the same thing. I think could it help? Maybe it would be more transparent to the user that how much of environment costs is this food grocery is doing for me. Maybe I do it myself instead of or something like this. Could it be something? Would it have an impact?
So the question is, would it help to be transparent to the user on how they're impacting? So this is I'm going to give a personal answer. Okay, I think as people we give a lot of pressure to individuals, and that's probably, this is my opinion. Okay, that's not something, I don't know if that's impactful. I mean, it probably is that you as a citizen you are very responsible, but I think instead it is more important that the data centers are using renewable energy. The data centers are doing enough to be carbon zero. So I think the onus lies on the companies who are building these data centers, companies that are building this AI. That's just my opinion. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, it's more like the same thing like me recycling my things or.
But the larger impact is when the companies are building more sustainable, you know, data centers and building more sustainable AI. It's the same about, like, you know, we always talk about fuel, and you know that how much fuel can I save? It's very noble. It's very what do you call it? It's a very nice thing, and it has impact. But the larger impact is when the larger corporations and the larger, you know, that has more impact. Yeah.
Yeah, you gave me an idea about transparency. Like, is there ability, like anyone who can answer it really, in a future where you are supposed to have, if you do live coding or any coding, that you have this kind of like certificate or a label that this is safe, or how to be like transparent or security.
So green AI certified or something.
This is approved by something.
Yeah.
No.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, yeah,
You should stop selling that.
yeah. That's a great idea for you to maybe build on green AI certified. Sorry.
Okay, I have a small question regarding the live coding again. So it's basically how it's gonna change the practice of SDLC processes, like how like in a stereotypical SDLC process we have this testing and then how we design process, analysis process, how it's gonna change like when we adapt to
Yes.
live coding.
So the question is, how does AI or vibe coding in general affect the software development lifecycle? How does it change it? Does it change it, or it democratizes it?
Yeah, it
That's
democratizes.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because how I do these things is I do the same tests. Well, not me, but the models are doing the same, the tests and the application itself and monitoring and that kind of stuff. But then when I run the test on the applications, the AIs are reading the monitoring data too. So they get the errors, traces, and logs over there, and then there's something changes. Okay, this endpoint is slow. What we can do there, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, I as a self am a whole team because I know what to ask for.
Yeah. Sorry, if I may just say, if there are any questions online, I know we do have attendees online. If you want to type anything in the chat, please do, because I know I'm taking a lot of questions here, but if you have anything online, please do share. But
I would like to ask what kind of background you have.
Me?
Yes.
Software development for about a bit over 10 years. And then sales. I used to do.
Do you incorporate AI in your, do you still do software development? Do you use AI?
I don't do production software development anymore. I don't deploy to production. Yeah. But I do quite complex systems too, but I don't do the productions.
Do you think that AI would influence? Should it be like part of the toolkit for a software?
Yes, I do.
It's already is. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of can't. Well, let's put it in this way.
And the support for software developers, because you think the software developer should know everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of like cheat codes. And like, I'm just thinking like how general it is, and you need to feel shame using.
Don't feel shame.
Can I refer you to?
It's just a tool. It's just a tool.
Can I refer you to an article by Spotify? They said that their best developers haven't written a single line of code since December. So there's no shame in that. I think it's using the tool more efficiently. So yeah, just wanted to make sure that it exists before I share it with you. But yes, there are.
Yeah, it's about being productive as well. So.
And I'm just trying to think like how far Stack Overflow has existed. I mean, when did we write from scratch?
Isn't it AI now more safer than Stack Overflow? Because it's kind of like modifies.
But because now you can give it a lot of like this, as we call in Microsoft, the IQ or the context. We can't. It's Stack Overflow is probably just maybe a snippet, but then here you can give it more context.
So do you say that it would AI doing this instead of Googling or Stackflow would be even safer to do products? Or like when you learn as a student, it'd be safer to use.
I say safe.
Yeah. Yeah. But Anna, you did not say your background. I think
I told you in the presentation.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I think we are almost over time. Is there any last question?
For the learning part, like we need to go to like where is the can we get the link for that?
Yes, so we will share this slides with Mimmit Koodaa. And then if you go to Microsoft Skills for Jobs in Finland, or even on Mimmit Koodaa's site, they have created a page for us where they share all the links and everything. You don't have slides.
Oh, you
yes.
need to create.
We will take screenshots
Maybe-
of your slides.
Maybe you just go create.
Or should I just make that repo available?
Yes, make the repo available, and then right. Have you seen the recently? I don't know, are the people still online? But there was like this Reddit track. Just give me the exe.
Yeah.
No, don't give me the repo. What is it?
Yeah.
Okay, but hey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will send. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Yoni, Anna, and then Carolina, who's now left. We still have probably some smoothies left, I hope. And then we will share all the material with Mimmit Koodaa. And Anna is going to actually share a bit more about how to bring data into AI at Mimmit Koodaa's Data Design Sustainability event on 17th. So do catch her session. She's going to go even deeper now.
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yes, we are in the data rabbit hole now.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone online.